Just heard me go on a nice little rant on D1 college football. Now it's time to go on a rant on prep school JuCO football. So let's get started. So Last Chance U season 5, me and my wife watched it in one day, in one sitting, about 7 hours. We love the series. We can't wait for the basketball series to start. Last Chance U basketball. I forgot when the start date was for that, or when I believe it was released, but it should be coming sometime late 2020, early 2021. So, but let's get started with this season 5. I'm gonna try to stay composed. But Last Chance U season 5 came out over the weekend. It follows Laney College, the Laney College Eagles, which is in Oakland, California, led by Coach. What's the coach name? Shoot, let me find his name. I forgot his name now. Coach John Beam, legendary coach. Coached in Oakland for 40 years. Legendary figure in the Oakland football scene. All that good stuff, right? Now, it follows a bunch of players, but the main few, number 66, Nunu Tagovailoa, as you tell by the name, the last name, he's Samoan. Another player, number 2, one of my favorites, is Rajon Wright, cornerback. I believe he was the number 5 cornerback in the nation, JuCO, in the JuCO system, and also number 1 in the state of California. I like him a lot. We'll break down a couple of their games individually as the podcast go on, as the episode goes on. Number 4, the one I'm going to rant about, well, it's 2 of them. Dior Walker-Scott, receiver / quarterback. I'll get into him when we get to it. Trying to stay composed. And also another one I'm gonna rant about as well. Number 6, RJ Stern, wide receiver, slot wide receiver, backup quarterback, emergency quarterback. So those are the main 4 guys that really were the target players of the entire season. The most guys with the best potential future. From Laney College, that's the senior group, the 2-year group. RJ Stern was a 3rd-year player. So let's get started with Nunu. I'm good on Nunu. Nunu wasn't really, I like him a lot. Young dad, 2 kids and a wife. We'll break it down a little bit real fast on Nunu. D1 talent player. I saw that from the rip. Big guy, talented. And this is where I agree with Coach Beam on. The question arose, later in the season, did Nunu really want to play football? Being a young dad of 2, his wife in school and working and paying the bills, they're staying with their parents. And also Laney College, Laney College. Let me go back, move around a little bit. Laney College won the title, the JuCO title, for their championship, whatever, in 2018. This is set in 2019, so they're the defending champions. They aren't really necessarily the best, normally the best in that conference, but they had a great run last year and won their last, I believe, 8 straight games. Had a great year 2018, so this is set in 2019. And also, the school doesn't provide any on-campus rooms. Like, you can't stay there. You have to live in the city, whatever, or live in the surrounding city and travel there every day. Now let's get started. So Nunu lives with his parents, 2 kids and a wife, 2 very young kids, like a 1 and like a 2-year-old, something like that, or close to a newborn, like a 1 and 2-year-old. Very good offensive lineman, very talented. Had a bunch of interest from bigger schools, D1 schools. He was the one I just knew was going D1, like Eastern Michigan or something like that. I thought that was a great fit for him. But he ended up, before I go there, Coach Beam, like I said, I agree with him there. I forgot about this part, excuse me. Did he want to, the biggest thing came up about him was, did he want to play football? Or was he just playing it, like to find a way for his family, but did he really want to do it and make it a career? His wife was working and doing school, paying all the bills by herself. They stayed with their parents. They stayed with his parents and his brothers. They all live in one house and things like that. And no, you want to be independent. She want to be on her own, and you feel that way when you're pressured by your wife, which is a good thing to do better, and he's trying to pursue his football dream all the while, they're living with the parents, sharing food, sharing a place, not being as comfortable as you want to be. And the thing was, did he want to go out in the working world and be a great father and help be a father and help, the wife with the bill and get their own place? Or do you want to continue your football dream? That was a big thing that came up that Coach Beam, who was texting me right now? Coach Beam is really was really on him about. And, he stuck with football. Why say it like that? Football. He stuck with football and ended up getting a full ride to where did he go to? Getting a full ride to shoot. Where was it? I'm bugging. Go to to Murray State. That's what it was. Murray State in Kentucky. Same school that John Rant went to. Which John Rant will be a topic on this show later on today. Yeah, he went to Murray State, committed to Murray State. But as you know, Murray State, I believe, no, they're not suspending their football. Their football is still going on. Yeah, so sorry about that. Yeah, they're still going to be playing. Yeah, so he went to Murray State in Kentucky, which was a shock to me because, after the last episode, they do like a little, where are they at now, 3 months later. I just knew he was going to Eastern Michigan or a bigger D1 school. He's a very good lineman, but he lost interest. People lost interest in him after the season and ended up getting a scholarship, a full ride, which is great for him and his family, to Murray State. Great for him. Number two, I'm going to speak on who is his number two. Rajon Wright, my favorite player in this entire series. I like his confidence. I love his swag. I love his cockiness. That's how I want my son to be, when he plays. I was a shy guy, quiet guy, didn't talk too much trash. When I played high school sports, high school football, I was pretty good as well. But people talk trash to me. I just took it and just kept it in stride. I want my son to be like Rajon Wright. Not as I want to be more controllable because he was kind of out of control with it. But I like the swag. I love the confidence. I love the cockiness. I love his style. The first couple games, he was getting burnt a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. The first two games, he kept getting worked on. He kept getting burnt on. He kept getting mossed on. I was like, all right now. But after like the third or fourth game, he started getting in this mode and started stepping up and started playing like he was the fifth best cornerback in the whole entire JuCo. He has a family lineage going on. His cousin currently plays for Oklahoma State University. His big brother, who played for Laney College last year, committed to Oklahoma State University and is a starting cornerback. And the big thing was for him this year, well, can he be controlled and have a good attitude going to college, and also where he commit to, because he was a guy who already had a bunch of offers from big programs. And the thing was, he said he didn't want to go to Oklahoma State with his brother and his cousin. He wanted to do his own thing. Ending up, he ended up going with them anyways towards the end of the year, committed to Oklahoma State University, joined his brother, joined his cousin, and he's potentially going to fill that void as the other starting cornerback opposite his brother. So that'd be pretty cool. His brother, I think his cousin is a safety or linebacker, something like that. And his brother, one starting quarterback. Hopefully he can be the other starting cornerback coming to the summer. And we'll see with him. But yeah, I like him a lot. I love his game a lot. Him and his brother are built similarly. His brother looks a little taller, looks a little leaner. But they both are good players. I've seen their highlight tapes. Both are good players. Rajon Wright did miss about half the season. Must about halfway. He broke his ankle or cracked his ankle, something like that. High ankle sprain, but he couldn't return and was advised not to return during the season to help his team out, who needed him badly on the defensive side of the ball. But yeah, that's really it for him. he had no questions about where he was going, or no questions about am I getting any offers or anything like that. He was definitely getting an offer. He had offers already. It was just where he was going to, and he decided to go with his brother and his cousin and have the family lineage continue to go through Oklahoma State University. Now, here's where it gets a little nasty at, and I start to get a little upset at. So I'm debating on who to start with first, Dior Walker-Scott or RJ Stern. The list I'm looking at, I guess I'll stick with the list, and Dior goes up first. So Dior Walker-Scott comes up to the podium. All right. So Dior Walker-Scott, young man, has family issues, lives on his own. We find out first episode, lives on his own. He's homeless. He lives in his car. I don't feel like, oh Lord, I'm getting upset already. Okay. Lives in his car, homeless. And then, find out practices the first game. He's a legit, before I go there, works at Wingstop as well, a night shift, 8 to 12, and then still goes to school the next morning and practice all that good stuff, right? So, see him in practice, see him in the first game, he's a stud. He's a truth at wide receiver, 5'9", like 160, 170. He's a truth. He's a truth. He's nice. I like him a lot. Very good receiver. Him and RJ were their 1 and 2 receivers. RJ was more proven, but Walker, oh man, Dior Walker-Scott got it. He has it to me. Put him in the slot somewhere, and he's there. But he was playing the number 1 receiver, number 2 receiver spot, X and Z spot, X and Y, X and Y, X and Z. I'm not a receiver, I'm a lineman, so I don't know. But the X spot, he was playing the 1 receiver, and he was doing this thing, balling out. So that's game 1, game 2, episode 1 and episode 2. So around episode 2, episode 3, the starting quarterback Ryan gets hurt, messes his knee up or something like that. The second string quarterback gets hurt, and the third string quarterback gets hurt during the game. So Dior Walker has former high school experience playing quarterback his junior year in high school. So they said, Dior, come to quarterback. For his first game, played well, but I saw from that first game the highlights and stuff, and the clips of the show. It wasn't going to be a good one. They ended up playing a bad team. They played a bad team at first, or their third game. They played a bad team, blew them out like 60-14. They were 0-2 previously. Now they're 1-3. Oh, they're 1-2. But Dior had a great game on the ground and passing. But in the clips you've seen throughout the show, that third episode, they were not pretty passes. They were not accurate passes. The team we played were just sorry. And I saw that from the get-go. I said, Bae, so my wife, Bae, it's not going to be good. I already knew off top. So that's fine. Episode 3, ball out. Episode 4, I believe they won. They're 2-2, but it still looked a little shaky the third game. He wasn't as sharp as he was on the ground or passing the first game in episode 3. Then episode 5 and 6, episode 4 or 5, it just got out of hand. Started getting hurt more. We found out more about his personal life and about why he's homeless. And, it's kind of I don't want to say it's kind of a choice, to be honest. It's kind of a choice to be homeless. Him and his dad had a very tumultuous relationship going on. I won't spoil the entire thing. But, you got to watch it to know, very tumultuous relationship from a child to as a young adult. And he chose to not accept his military father's benefits and, or his help and do it on his own, which I respect as a young man. I get it. I respect it. That's all I gotta say about that part. I don't want to dig into too much of his personal stuff. But watch the show. You want to watch the show and get a feel for his character. I like it a lot. Sad situation to be in, but, he's a warrior. He'll tough it out. Hopefully he's doing well in real life. But so yeah, you see that part of it. That starts to affect his on the field play. Plus, he also starts to stress about, I'm a receiver. I'm not a quarterback. How is this going to help me get a scholarship, a D1 full ride. Everyone there wants a full ride. How is this going to help me get a full ride to play receiver if, I'm playing quarterback and I'm not even playing that well? I'm playing okay, but I'm going to be receiver in college. How am I going to get a D1 offer if I have no receiver film except for like a game and a half or something like that? So this is where the rant or my upsetness comes in is that. So Coach Jim Beam doing this for 40 years, who are a lot like other high school coaches I've seen in multiple sports, but mainly in basketball and football because I played those two sports, where coaches will do what's best for the team and not what's for the player. And I understand it, but when you are a coach of young men trying to make their way, to me, and I might be dead wrong in this, I don't know, but you have to look out for your young men. These young men are struggling. These young men are trying to find their way in life, especially in this program, in this show. They're trying to get D1 offers to get to a free ride because they cannot afford school. And you're worried about winning instead of worried about your daggone players. And that's even fine. That's fine. But you lied to the players. It was a scene in the episode, I believe 4 or 5, because Dior was still playing quarterback. And Ryan came back like episode 6 or 7, probably like 6. So episode 4 or 5, a former Laney College player, because college players did pop up. Former players did pop up throughout the season. And the guy who played for Hawaii, he's a wide receiver, told Dior like, "Hey man, I heard about you, great wide receiver, but you're playing quarterback. My school won't have a need. They won't give you a full ride anymore." And me and my wife like, why would he say that? You know what I mean? If Coach Jim Beam is saying, I got you, I'm looking out for you, I got you, trust me. You know what I'm saying? But the player himself told me, I heard about you, my coach told me about you, but there's no film on you after one game, so I highly doubt you would get a full ride. You got to switch back to receivers so you can get some money, so you can get this full ride. You have no tape on yourself, which Dior Walker knows. So he starts to stress about it, starts to press about it on the field and make mistakes, make plays, throw up, feel chest pains, things like that. And also felt chest pains and anxiety from his situation with his father, episode 3 or 4. And yeah, man, and from that point on, Jim Beam was upset with a player telling him that, with the Hawaii high school player, Hawaii college player, telling Dior Walker Scott that. And Coach Beam just kept telling him, I got you, trust me. You're a hell of a player. You're a team guy. I got you. And he kept praising Dior Walker the entire season for the most part about being a team guy. Doing team things, stepping up, being quarterback, sacrificing self, sacrificing tape, all that good stuff, all that blah, blah, blah bull stuff. And then let's just skip to this end of the season. Let's skip episode 6 to 8. So Ryan comes back. Dior plays okay, not great. He plays okay. He drops a couple of touchdown passes throughout episodes 6, 7, and 8. Doesn't play extremely well when he gets back to receiver full time. Ryan wasn't the best either. And in the season comes, Coach said, well, you have no film, so how can you get an offer, basically? I'm like, excuse me? I thought you had him. I thought he was a team guy. I thought you had his back. You know what I'm saying? And Dior Walker Scott is pressing, and like I said, he's pressing the last 6, 7, 8 games, or 6, 7, 8, those episodes, trying to perform as best as he could to get a D1 offer, to get enough tape to do something with. He spent the entire season playing, half of playing quarterback, and has no film really on playing receiver. Couple touchdowns, couple catches here and there, couple nice moves, but nothing to really make you stand out to get an offer. And end up, after episode 8, 3 months later, where are you now? He goes to Hawaii, gets no D1 interest for a scholarship, goes to Hawaii, which he planned on getting a full ride for, didn't get, and he's a walk-on. And now he's in Hawaii, even during COVID-19. He's in Hawaii in a little park. At least he's not homeless. I do love that part. But he is in Hawaii right now, training for the school, having to prepare to be a walk-on. Now, people might think, oh, that's just how it goes. No. I do not see it that way. I don't see it that way. A young man struggling, a teen guy, the coach kept screaming and yelling the entire time. He's a prime example of a true football player. You look out for that man, for that young man. You know what he's going through. You know he's homeless, all that stuff. He comes to practice, busts his tail, sacrificing his take to better for the team, and you don't even look out for him. And I'll tell you why Jim Beam did. Well, I'll tell you another reason why I know for a fact Jim Beam did. Coach Jim Beam. And that's now you move on to RJ Barnes. Burns? What's his name? Excuse me, RJ Stern, number 6. Also another receiver who I said was a 1-2 receiver with Dior Scott. 3rd-year guy. Normally you only have 2 years there, but RJ he tore his abdominal his 2nd year. So he redshirted him. Coach Beam did against RJ. RJ fought against it, but he had to. He had no offers or enough tape after his 1st year to get a full ride. So he redshirted and came back for a 3rd year looking to be a star. He's your typical white slot receiver, 5'11", 180-ish, somewhere around there. Good body, good footwork. Only thing with him was he was a freelancer guy. Coach Beam said, hey, run this route this way, 5 steps in. He'll do a 5-step dip curl, twist around, backflip, then go in. You know what I'm saying? Like he'll do his own thing, which is not the best, but he has talent. And I kept saying, and skill. And I kept saying the entire show with RJ. I told my wife, I said, babe, a guy like RJ, just give him the ball, put it in his hands. You know what I'm saying? And this is another thing. When Dior was a quarterback, there only leaves one good receiver, RJ Stern. You find the ball in that man's hand, you put it in his hand anytime you have a chance. You do option with them in the backfield, you do something, bubble screen, something. He would not, and not Dior, Coach Beam even set RJ sometimes because of his route running. Why will you set, if you're trying to win a game, your best receiver left after Dior is playing quarterback or he's struggling, why would you sit him if you're trying to win games only for route running? Not doing drugs, not fighting, not schoolwork like some other guys, not skipping certain events you need to attend. Because of freelance route running, you sit him or don't play him as much as you're supposed to, and Dior doesn't give him the ball because he don't know. I'm sure he don't know any better. He's not a true quarterback, and you didn't run plays for RJ to get the ball when he was on the field with Dior. And when RJ did get the ball in his hands, made plays every time almost. Him and Dior. But Dior got most of the main share of the catches when he was playing receiver, or when he didn't, or when he didn't drop the ball. But when RJ got the ball, RJ made something happen almost every time. When Dior was on the field playing receiver or quarterback, when he got the ball, when RJ got the ball, he made plays. And I kept saying the entire time, I'm like, babe, why will he not see RJ is the guy, him and Dior? When Dior's struggling or not, or being double covered or whatever, or being locked up, RJ get him the ball. And they're trying to run the ball. They're trying to do everything in the world. They're setting RJ. They're pulling him from the game early and bring him in later. Like, bro, just give him the ball. Give him the ball. So, long story short, into the season, and that's the whole entire season for RJ in the big capsule. Always had struggles with the coach. Coach didn't want to play him. Coach threatened to sit him out most of the season. when he did get the ball, made stuff happen, right? So this win, in the season time come 3 months later, after episode 8 is almost done. 3 months later, where you at now? The coach asked RJ. Coach Beam asked RJ, "Did you get a full ride, man?" "Nah, coach. Nah." "Oh man, I thought you would have had one the way you balled out and the way the people had interest in you." That lets you know right there from that sentence alone. Coach Beam do not give a freak about these players. They don't. They don't. They don't. He does. Trust me. Trust me. He doesn't. I played high school ball. I had a full ride D1 offers. FB, not FCS, FBS. Oh no, or FC. Yeah, FBS title. FBS D1 offers. I know. I was in RJ's shoes. Me and my coach weren't on the best of terms. I wasn't the best. I wasn't the ideal teammate or ideal player. I was in RJ's shoes. And even RJ around episode 6, so like I said, it's only eight episodes. Around episode 6, RJ started making his own, excuse me, I'm getting upset. Making his own highlight tape and sending it to colleges. I was doing that myself. But he did his late in the season. I was doing mine during the summer going to my senior year. I had to do it myself because I knew me and my coach weren't on the best of terms, which was my fault. I understand that, but I knew for the most part, my coach would not vouch for me when it's time to meet the coaches and talk to me and talk about me. And RJ realized that the same way I realized it, but just too late. And I got my own interest popping for myself. My highlight film, my tape, my play spoke for itself. I sent emails out to defensive coaches, the recruiting coach, the head coach, the O-line coach. I played D-line. I sent it to everybody who would notice. RJ did the same thing later on, but it was a little too late. He did get an offer to a small, like Southern Tennessee, I believe. He did end up getting it there. Their D2 school got a full ride offer for a D2 school in Southern Tennessee. They start playing in late September. There's no update as of right now on what RJ's doing, but he is on the team and things like that. But just to say this, guys, coaches do not always have your best interest at heart. When I heard the coach say, "I thought you would have signed by now, you had a bunch of interest," how you wouldn't know? How you wouldn't know? If you're a coach that care about your players, you keep recruiting for your players until whenever the next season, until the signing period is over. You know, you keep going until they get signed or until they decide not to play no more. You know what I'm saying? To me, that might sound crazy to other people. I don't know, but to me, I found that as not caring about your players, and for Dior Walker Scott, setting your player up for failure and telling him lies the entire time. That's what got me. That's the only thing that killed me. You lied that man the entire year. "Oh, I got you. Trust me, I got you. You got 2 games of very good tape. I got you." And in the season, he's taunting him about not having enough tape to be D1 when he's dropping catches, dropping balls, and things like that. And he's pressing to try and get a scholarship offer. Man, oh my goodness. I'm trying to stay clean and not cuss. I'm doing a good job of doing it. So that's it, man. That's my Last Chance U Season 5 recap.